Hi, this is Scott from lsdac.com. Okay, now we move back to the fuel tank itself. In order to change out the pump in this, we're going to have to remove the fuel tank. The GM fuel pump that comes with these LS motors, or came with these LS motors in the stock vehicles, is more than adequate to handle the motor horsepower plus any additional add-ons you might add up to about 450 horsepower. It has its own fuel sending unit. It's made by Delphi, the same company that made the pump that's in this tank currently. So what we'll be doing is taking this tank down far enough to clean it out, get the original fuel pump and sending unit out of here, and install the GM Delphi fuel pump and sending unit back in, and then we'll just have to swap out the end of our wiring harness to the appropriate connector, and then up in the front we'll be able to tap into that, and the indications are we'll be able to use the original fuel level gauge inside the truck as the fuel level gauge for the tank, and we'll be able to use the original fuel pump relay that's currently existing on the vehicle. So in order to get this tank down, what we're going to do is we're going to take a 15mm socket and we're going to get up in there and loosen these bolts. They are always rusty, so I started out a few days ahead of time by soaking them with some PB Blaster. Then I'm going to go ahead and get a hold of those and loosen them up a little bit. Now, I've never been able to pull one of these off of here without breaking those off. So what I do is I gently undo them until I get about a ½ inch gap right up in here, and then I'm going to take an air cutoff wheel or a Sawzall, and I'm going to cut those off right there. When the tank is out, we'll be able to reuse the straps, and we'll just have to buy new clips from the dealer to replace those. They're pretty easy to come by, and most dealers will have them in stock. We've got the fuel tank out of our truck. We've emptied it of all the rest of the gas. There's always some residual gas. You can't get it out. That's a real hassle, but we did get it all out finally. We're ready to remove the fuel pump from the fuel tank itself. On the Dakotas and Durangos, they have this, it looks like this looks like a mason jar lid. It's plastic. This one's actually loose, but I'm going to show you how to get it apart. It's a real pain in the butt. Sometimes you can use a strap wrench. You can just get that over it, get a hold of it, you can pull it. But most of the time they've been on there so long they're pretty much seized up. There's a rubber gasket under there that just really hangs on to those. So the way I do it, I just take a $20 air hammer with my air compressor, and I just take it, and I'm not going to do it, but I'll show you how. I get a hold of these ribs, and I just go around and I kind of vibrate each one of them one at a time until they're loose, and then I come back and I just vibrate on it and kind of rotate it and vibrate and rotate and vibrate and rotate and vibrate and rotate until finally it's all the way loose. If you damage it completely, you can usually get them from the dealer. They're about 20 bucks. Ours actually has some nicks in it, but it's completely sealed still, so we're going to probably reuse that. Once you get that loose, you take your ring completely out and you lift your fuel pump out. There's a float level gauge right here that goes down in, so when you take it out, make sure you don't bend that. In a little while, we're going to show you how to take this apart and modify the fuel pump inside there for the 60 PSI requirements that the LS motors use. We'll be taking the regulator itself completely out. New fuel pump will go inside, new tubing, and there should be a regulator up on top of the tank before we reinstall it. I need to run this over to the guy that does the fuel hoses and see what he thinks about getting that set up that way.